Oh, you want me to do
Fun
it?
story.
No, you do it.
Well, no, 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 please. We've had a lot of people complain that
We
we
cut
talk
each
over
other
each
off.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, we cut each other.
you're
Yeah.
man, but it is horrible. We've got to stop it. We're talking about today about a TikTok that was in the news about someone who started a job, and a big green flag was that everybody is set to inactive on the chat system. It's great. It's a really cool thing, and we kind of love it, and we go into a bit more depth than we probably should do. Anyway, interesting episode. John's story, Mike's story. Enjoy.
So, really interesting article. I think you submitted it.
No, this is a Mike
It's a
article.
Mike story. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, speaking of Mike,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of Mike, where is Mike? We're missing Mike.
he's still away on his travels. He's on a boat,
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
weirdly, I got
You
another
got a
message in a bottle
third
today.
bottle. Wow.
Another message in a bottle.
That's crazy.
I know this guy. At least one thing you can say, he's consistent. Oh, let me just get this message out of the bottle here. Right today. Can we want to keep this up for another 3 days? Right, today's message is, um, help, iceberg dead ahead. I don't know how he got time to. Oh, right. JK, lol. They hate that joke on board. The captain was unamused. Yeah, well, I would have expected that too, Mike.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
I mean, but that is a very Mike joke, very dad joke, actually.
That is a very dad joke.
Really
Yeah,
revealing his age there, giving the
I
Titanic
think
reference.
it's
Um,
having fun. Uh, Also, just to say a huge thank you to all our lovely subscribers, each individual one of you, even you watching right now, is definitely going to subscribe, right? And validate our existence as YouTube superstars. Um, yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it.
we do.
Genuinely. Yeah, we don't do this like for the views and subscribers, but it does really make us feel good when you subscribe. So thanks. We're going to be doing an episode at some point in the near future where we'll talk about all the different things that we've tried and what results we had. So
Yeah.
subscribe to so that you don't miss out on that. It's coming up soon. Anyway, sorry. Back to you, John.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a remote worker who found a really big green, a rare green flag regarding their employer.
It's so rare,
Quote
isn't it?
slash title starts with, I found out something yesterday. It was just like the biggest green flag. The green flag is that this company that this employee works at, new employee, they have a standard procedure of going away. So setting your status on Slack or Teams, whatever it is that they use, away. Meaning that you're not showing up as green, you're showing up as away from your keyboard or AFK. And this is so cool to hear
Yeah.
because the
Also,
employer or the employee talks about the anxiety of going to places like the bathroom or making lunch or having to step away for 30 minutes during your workday. Where in the office, right, you would tell your manager or your front desk or whoever, depending on who you are, you say, I'm going to step out for 30 minutes. And that's that. But here, there's this anxiety looming of like, oh, do people think I'm a slacker? Do people think I'm not at my desk or like, off, like not working? But here, they've taken a completely opposite approach as a company and said everyone needs to be away. We do not track you, and we don't want that anxiety in our employees. And I think that's
yeah,
so cool.
it's amazing, and actually, it kind of highlights to me one of those mental shifts that the mental biases that I have. So one one thing for my team was I always used to tell them, I don't care when you work. You can work at 3 o'clock in the morning if you like. Be there for meetings, and if you, I don't care what time you work as long as you get the stuff done. That's all that really matters. You talked about your bosses you've had like that before,
Yep.
and or you know how you've treated other people, and it really doesn't matter if at the end of the day you get your stuff done and you're present and doing a good job. Who cares
No
what
one
time you
should
work?
care, right?
So this was really difficult for other people on my team to accept. There was one guy in particular when he joined. He came from quite a corporate environment. and he used to say stuff on Slack like, "Hey, I'm just popping out for half an hour to go do something." I'm like,
You don't need to.
"Okay,
Right.
okay." I
Right.
mean, I genuinely don't care.
Right.
Messaging on something like Slack should be asynchronous. You shouldn't send a message and expect to reply immediately because, maybe in an office environment you should because someone's standing in front of you, but it don't need to be. It doesn't need to be like that. And getting that into your head is that it doesn't need to be like that is tricky. So this situation
Yeah.
is like, I felt like if I kind of imagined myself at a company where everybody had to put their status as inactive or offline or whatever, and it's like, oh, that doesn't feel right, but it makes so much sense
It makes
because
so much sense.
it's sort of enforcing that you don't need to get a message back immediately, whether you're online or not. It's exactly what I say I believe in, but apparently internally I still have some biases. Like it's weird. So yeah, it's like when you're working from home and you've got a remote work setup and everybody's messaging online asynchronously and they're all spread around the world, whether someone is there or not when you send them a message is irrelevant, really.
Correct. They will get the message.
Yeah, they
And
will.
it's, I think what you said earlier is really important to note because we might have future managers or current managers who are watching. And I think it is so important to take the
Yeah,
approach.
if there are any future managers watching, please ignore the swearing. It's just
Oh, you mean our
sorry.
managers? No,
Yeah,
no,
our
no, no,
future
no.
managers watching
I
us.
mean, I mean, generally speaking, that it's so important that you allow your employee the freedom to accomplish their work when or where they're best. And I mean, this is what so many bosses of mine in the past have taken this approach of like, I always start my employment when I get a new job, I'll start it with, in a good, when I have a chance to ask, what are the core hours? And it's kind of a bait question because I want to see what their response is. Their response could be, your core hours is fucking 9 a.m. until 5 with 1 hour for lunch or whatever. Or they could say, oh, we don't do core hours.
Yeah,
Get your work done, attend your meetings, and we'll be fine. And like
yeah.
that's the approach that I personally think is the ideal manager. That's how you should run a team.
So the approach is going to be dependent on the person. So there are people who do need structure and they do need um, that in their lives, and they do need to start at 9 and finish at 5.
Totally.
But it shouldn't be dictated to someone. There should always be the option of working better hours. Most people know for themselves how they work best, and as a good manager, as a good leader, you should find out what that is and then work with them and allow them the freedom to switch. If you dictate that everybody has to work in the same way, you're not going to get 100% out of your employees. You're going to get, I don't know, 60% because other people would prefer to work in a different way, or 40% or 20%. It depends on obviously who your team's made up of,
Yeah.
who your team's made up of. Yeah, so I love this. It's kind of like, if you want to be online, great. If you don't want to be online, also great. And nobody's going to be there and judge you silently. So there's no like peer pressure.
Yeah, it is really just such a cool way, because you just reminded me of something of like, I mean, we are now, we're not in the industrial era anymore, right? Like we don't fucking need to sit in front of a hot press all day. We are in the digital age, and in the digital age, we do not need archaic rules anymore. And it feels like
Yeah.
this 9 to 5 rule of like, where we hear about nightmare managers who have fucking spy like bossware installed on their employees' systems, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you fucking went to take your dog out for 5 minutes, like that's a warning, like whew, we
I
don't
mean,
need that anymore.
it's all about control with these kind of things. It's not about getting the most out of your employee. It's about having control over what you're getting, feeling like you are, yeah, you are the master of the environment. I want to address
Yeah.
one little thing. So, as some people know, we have this spreadsheet where we added links into, and Mike submitted this, and his it's all done via Discord stuff. So, but his comment was that the downside to this is that now you'll never know if you're bothering someone. which is an interesting take because it again kind of shows this thing about how we use the messaging systems. Most people, despite the fact that they don't have to do this, if they get a message, feel like they have to respond straight away. So if you're spamming someone at 3 a.m., some people don't like it, even though there's no reason for you to actually put notifications on at that time. But yeah, so now if someone's online, you'll never know if you're actually bothering them. I suppose it's a valid point, but I think it requires a mental shift, like
Yeah.
to manage your own messaging or something like that.
Me and a coworker just spoke about this recently. It's all about like you need to set boundaries with yourself almost, right? Like if I'm
Yeah.
if I'm checking messages at 3 a.m. because my phone pinged, that's honestly on me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be receiving those messages, and I shouldn't be checking messages at 3 a.m., much less responding to them, right? Like, so not trying to blame anyone because it is really kind of blameless. If something happened and I need to get a message out at 3 a.m., I will get that message out. If you wake up from that, sorry, but this needed to be sent to you, right? Like, it could be an incident, it could be whatever. So, yeah, it is a weird new era of employment that we're kind of in and entering into, and like it's very untested. But I feel like every era of new jobs and new careers and like new styles of work always were untested, and it's just kind of we're just working it out.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I haven't heard about lately is oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
One thing I haven't heard about lately is the 4-day work week. Really felt like that was like a big 2022 thing. Now everyone's tightening their belt. No more 4-day work weeks.
There was something interesting I saw, which I didn't send actually. I should have submitted it. But it was about a company or government organization in some country that was like, here's how you can set up a 4-day work week. It was like an official thing.
Oh, cool.
Where they were promoting it because, yeah. Anyway, I'll try and dig that up. Maybe we can talk about that next week sometime. But I think we have exhausted this.
Exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Cheers for watching, guys.